My beloved child, cease every distraction and incline your heart now. This is no gentle whisper, but the sounding of a trumpet in your soul. A critical crossroads stands before you, and if you look away even for a moment, you will miss the doorway I have held open for your freedom. Right now, a fierce battle rages for your mind. Fear seeks to claim you, but I call you into power, love, and sound judgment. Do not flee from what I reveal next. What I speak in the coming moments will uproot the chains you've carried and launch you into a destiny long held in heaven's hand. Time is not on your side. Listen closely, for in these words lies your turning point. It cannot be postponed, delayed, or ignored. Do you recall the earlier times when I gently guided you? The signs I sent? The subtle warnings you heard, but ultimately set aside because your heart was not yet prepared? I hold no blame for you. I understand that in those seasons your heart carried many other burdens. I know that often it wasn't a willful disregard, but rather that you weren't deep enough within to grasp the fullness of what I was cautioning you about. Your heart had not yet grown wide enough to accept the truth I was offering. But now, my cherished one, the moment has arrived. This is no longer a gentle suggestion. This is the blast of a trumpet. It is a resounding call within your soul that you can no longer ignore. This is a divinely appointed moment in my design for your life, a sacred crossroads where mercy meets righteousness, where love meets correction. You are standing at the threshold of a critical decision, and I refuse to have you move forward without the discernment that comes from me. What I say to you now is not meant to confuse you, but to rescue you. It is not intended to instill fear, but to guide you back onto the holy path I ordained for you before the world was formed. You have not strayed in a single reckless leap, but in small, gradual steps, taken while distracted. I have observed your weariness. I have witnessed the internal struggle each time you wavered between doing what is right and surrendering to fleeting impulses. Now I can no longer remain silent. My love for you is too deep for me to watch you drift further into misdirection. This moment is not random. It is the precise convergence of spiritual maturity stirring within you, of a sharpened sensitivity returning to your heart, and of the new opportunities I am preparing ahead. Yet you cannot enter that next chapter if you still carry the old burdens of disobedience and hesitation. The door that lies ahead is not wide enough for the things you have refused to release. I do not want you walking into your future with chains from the past still binding your steps. I call to you now, not with the sound of thunder, but with the desperate plea of a father's heart. My child, the time has come. It is time for me to touch the hidden corners of your heart. It is time to uproot whatever bears no fruit, to cut away what has caused you to bleed, the wounds you believed you had to carry forever. I did not create you to walk in suffering. I created you to be free, to walk lightly in truth, to stand tall in my light. Do you realize this? When you heed my call right now, not only will you discover your freedom, but you will also unlock a cascade of open doors. The blessings you have longed for, the promises you thought were delayed, the seasons you feared had passed you by, all will be restored as you realign yourself with heaven's divine order. There are things I withheld, not because I forgot, but because I was waiting for you to be ready, and you are nearer to readiness now than ever before. If you will, but have the courage to take this first step. Do not fear releasing it. For whatever you surrender in obedience, I will replace with something far better. Do not be afraid to face the truth, for it is truth that will set you free. And do not fear standing alone in this process. I am not here simply to point out what must change, but to walk each step with you. I will support you, strengthen you, wipe away your tears, and smile upon you as you choose obedience. And in that very instant when you say yes to me, all of heaven will rejoice, for a soul has chosen life, chosen light, chosen the path of truth. My dear child, as the world groans with cries of awakening, as heaven and earth together announce the coming of a holy hour, I want you to know that something deep and unseen is happening inside you, within your heart, your mind, and the deepest core of your soul, where no human eye can see, yet I am intimately familiar. It is a spiritual conflict forming and intensifying with each passing moment. It is the whisper of fear vying for space against faith. It is the subtle haze of confusion trying to obscure the bright flame of discernment I have placed within you, my child. The earth is trembling in these days, not by accident nor by random chaos, but because I am shaking the world's foundations to call humanity back to truth. I am allowing the sacred signs, those foretold in Scripture, in prophecies, and in the voices of past generations, to be revealed vividly, unmistakably, decisively. The unusual natural events, the upheavals among nations, the fractures in moral foundations, all serve as tolling bells to rouse a generation that has grown too comfortable in complacency, too absorbed in chasing empty vanities, forgetting the very purpose for which their souls were created. I am dispensing a special grace in this season, enabling many to recognize the signs they once misunderstood or ignored. I am opening spiritual eyes for those willing to see, and spiritual ears for those willing to listen. Those who once seemed far from me are now weeping tears of remorse. Hearts once hardened are now softly uttering their first prayers after years of coldness. I am calling, stirring, and inviting souls to return under the shelter of my wings before the door of grace closes at its appointed hour. Yet amid this wave of awakening, I also observe another wave, a thick fog of fear and uncertainty creeping into many hearts. People are swept up in anxieties about tomorrow, about what hasn't even happened yet, about instability, about the constant barrage of news stirring confusion within their souls. A spirit of bewilderment breathes its chilly breath across the land, causing many to forget that I still reign, that I have never relinquished my authority, that I remain the eternal king, even when every earthly altar is shaken. Many souls feel adrift, like ships tossed on a stormy sea. They see the turmoil around them, yet do not know what to cling to. The future looms as a frightening unknown. Some wake in the middle of the night, clutching their chests, not because of terrifying dreams, but because of fear. Fear of loss, fear of suffering, fear of being too weak to endure, fear of being left behind, forgotten, or missing out on something they cannot even name. My child, I see it all. I see it even within you. The times you try to mask your fears under a cloak of reason, when you appear strong on the outside but ache inwardly for reassurance. I do not condemn you for these feelings. I understand the frailty of humanity, but I do not want you to remain in this land of uncertainty and doubt. I did not create you to live imprisoned by fear. I created you to trust, to rise, and to walk in a peace not anchored in circumstances, but anchored in my unshakable presence. My child, remember this. I did not give you a spirit of panic, but of power, love, and sound judgment. What is happening in the world is not beyond my control. Though nations rage, though economies tremble, though human hearts grow cold, I am still orchestrating all things for the good of those who love me and walk in my ways. I invite you not to be swept away by the current of fear. Rise up, not with clenched fists of anger, but with hands lifted high in worship. Let me fill your mind with divine understanding, so that you may distinguish my voice from the voice of deception. Learn to stand still in the midst of the storm, not because the winds have ceased, but because you know I am right there in the boat with you, my beloved. As the curtain of this present age slowly closes and a new season draws near, I perceive clearly what is unfolding within human hearts. Many are tossed by turbulent waves. Hearts that once burned with faith have grown faint under invisible pressures. Some who once stood firmly on my promises now question the truths they once held dear. They struggle to move forward, yet their steps quiver and their hearts no longer beat with the steady rhythm of peace they once knew. I do not cast blame or judgment. I am fully aware of the hidden battle raging within. I see the arrows of doubt fired from the shadows. I see how the deceiver from the beginning, the enemy of souls, prowls relentlessly, searching for cracks in human hearts to sow seeds of suspicion. He whispers that I have forgotten, that I have abandoned, that my promises are outdated, and my miracles belong only to memories. He twists the truth, cloaking lies in the logic of this age, and uses fear to bind souls in invisible chains. Do you perceive this within yourself, my child? Those days when certainty slips from your grasp, those nights when my silence causes you to question, those moments when you feel abandoned in a world spinning too quickly? I understand it all, and I am here to remind you of one unchanging truth. Fear has no real power over you unless you allow it to. Fear was never something I placed within you when I formed you with my own breath. You were created to walk in my light, not to cower in shadows. You were destined to live in freedom, not to be shackled by foreboding illusions of failure. Every worry that tries to entangle you about the future, about security, about the rightness of your decisions, can only gain authority if you let its voice be louder than mine. But my child, do not let it be so. Let my voice be the loudest voice in your mind. Let the truth I declare be the solid ground upon which you stand. For when you do, even if hell trembles, you will remain unmoved. The uncertainties you feel are not the end of your story. They are not a final sentence, but an invitation to draw deeper into your relationship with me, a relationship not merely built on theoretical beliefs, but on daily commitments to live out that belief in every step. The unknowns, the closed doors, the unanswered questions, they all serve a purpose. I allow you to pass through the valley of shadows, not so you would fall, but so that you might learn to hold my hand more tightly than ever before. I do not desire you to live by shifting emotions, but by unshakable trust in my faithfulness. Remember, every word I speak is a word of life. Every promise I make does not fall to the ground. I never promise something I cannot fulfill, nor do I desert you along the way. What you walk through today is not proof that I have abandoned you, but evidence that I am deepening your foundation so that when I lift you higher, you will be able to stand firm. Let my peace reign in your heart, not an artificial stillness born from favorable conditions, but a transcendent peace that comes from knowing that, though everything around you may change, I do not. That peace will guard your mind and soul, quiet needless noise, and draw your heart back to the very center of all things, me. When my peace reigns, every lying voice is silenced. When my peace is present, you will walk with a steadiness that shakes the enemy. Those whose souls are panicking will be drawn nearer to the light you carry. Do not be surprised when you find yourself in the midst of battle, for anyone I have chosen and anointed must walk through seasons of training, and what I forge within you now is not outward glory, but inner strength, a faith refined by fire, a loyalty that does not waver, a steadfastness birthed from falling yet rising again for my sake. I prepare you not merely to survive, but to lead, not merely to endure, but to conquer. Therefore, my beloved, rise up, reject every whisper of fear, renounce doubt's authority, deny darkness the right to speak over your life, and declare with all your being, my heart will not be afraid, for the Lord is my keeper. I will not retreat, for he goes before me. I call you closer. I beckon you to rise. I awaken within you a steadfastness you never knew existed. For this is no longer a season for hesitation. This is an hour to act, to stand as a warrior, to take up your spiritual weapons, and to embrace your true role. A new era comes, and you are part of its unfolding. Do not let fear hold you back. Let my love burn away every doubt. Let my peace strengthen every step you take. My dear child, today I come not only to comfort you, but to call you to stand with gentle urgency and deep affection, because I know there were many times when I whispered this to your heart through dreams, through clear impressions, through subtle yet significant signs, all meant to warn you of something specific. I did not speak harshly because I wanted you to respond in love, not in fear. But now, my child, time is not limitless. This moment, this very hour, is the time for you to hear me fully. No more delay, no more avoidance, no more excuses. You have traveled a long path. I have seen your efforts, your moments of determination through trials. I cherish your faithfulness. I know every tear you have shed when no one else saw. Yet at the same time, I see something still holding you back, something that clings to you like a heavy anchor, preventing you from soaring as high as I have destined you. Something that attaches itself to your heart like an invisible chain, keeping you from fully living in the freedom and abundance I have prepared. You know what it is. I need not name it, for deep inside your soul, you have already felt its weight. It may be a relationship that never came from me, yet you hesitate to let it go. It may be an old habit you excuse with the thought, I will change slowly, when in truth you have not truly surrendered it. It may be a deep wound you are too afraid to face, and instead of seeking healing, you have buried it in silence, allowing it to slowly erode your faith and innocence. Or perhaps it is a promise I spoke over you, yet you have not embraced it because you fear failure. Whatever it is, today I tell you, you cannot delay any longer. You cannot let it dwell in your heart without bringing it into the light. You cannot let it occupy the space that belongs to me. You cannot yearn for freedom while clinging to chains. You cannot cry out for miracles while holding on to what blocks the flow of blessings. I do not say this to condemn you, but to save you, because you cannot enter the next chapter if the door to your present remains obstructed by hidden disobedience. You cannot taste the abundance I have prepared if you hold fast to what I have lovingly asked you to release. I love you too much to let you remain in the gray lands of compromise. I long to see you fully free, holy and undivided, claimed by nothing but my kingdom. Be honest with me, my child. You need not hide any longer. You do not need to appear strong before me. I do not love a perfect version of you. I adore the real you, clumsy, fragile, still learning to obey. Offer me what you have never dared to, your deepest fear, your oldest wound, the memory that aches most. Lay it down at my feet. Cry if you must. Scream if your heart is breaking. But do not hold on to it a moment longer, for when you cling to it, you carry a burden not meant for you. Yet when you surrender it, you will witness a miracle unfolding. I do not simply want you to let go. I want you to step into healing, into joy, into the lightness your soul has longed for. Step into the promised land, not someday, not later, but now. I have already prepared every good gift, but you must open your hands to receive it. You must lay down your burdens to soar. You must believe the freedom I offer is real, tangible, and nearer than you dared imagine. My beloved child, perhaps you have tried countless times to push this to the back of your mind, hoping that if you ignore it long enough, it will evaporate like passing rain. Perhaps you believe time itself would heal it, that circumstances would somehow shift on their own, that everything would return to how it once was if you just kept living, kept working, kept moving, without touching the broken parts within. But today, hear this clearly from the depths of my love for you. That is not the path to genuine restoration. That is not the road to freedom, nor the way to the place I want you to dwell. You cannot step into the new season of your life, a season marked by renewal, fulfilled promises, joy, and strength, while your heart remains tethered to that old burden. No matter how expertly you hide it, no matter how convincingly you tell yourself it no longer matters, it still weighs upon your soul every single day. It lingers like a shadow trailing your steps, even when the sun shines bright. You know it, feel it, every moment of stillness, every time you close your eyes in the darkness. It is still there, smoldering, heavy, never truly gone. I do not speak these words to discourage you, but to help you face a liberating truth. You cannot continue living with a fractured heart and expect to reap a harvest of fruit. You cannot carry unhealed wounds and expect to run steadily on the path of your destiny. That which remains unresolved, whether a regret from the past, a broken relationship, an unspoken disappointment, or a quiet doubt against me, clouds your spiritual vision. It blocks the flow of grace I long to pour out over your life. You cannot harvest in the promised land while your hands still clutch the remnants of a past season. You cannot grasp the new blessings if your heart is not yet ready to release what wounds you. I cannot guide you into the next chapter while the previous page remains folded over by unresolved matters. I love you too much to let you settle for mere survival when I have destined you for abundance. I refuse to see you walking among great potentials with your head bent beneath a weight you refuse to lay down. That is not the life I crafted for you. Pause, my beloved. Do not continue forward with a shattered soul and a cluttered mind. I am inviting you not simply to exist day by day, but to live deeply, authentically, fully, just as I intended from the beginning. The time has come for you to stop deceiving yourself into thinking everything will be okay while leaving that old pain untouched. True healing never comes through avoidance. It comes through facing the truth with love. And I want you to understand this. When you courageously open that wounded place, I will not stand at a distance. I will step in, tenderly yet powerfully, not to judge you, but to embrace the very depth of your pain. I will not leave you empty in the moment of surrender. I will fill that place with my presence, a presence that heals every wound, fills every void, and restores what seemed lost forever. You have lingered in seasons of trial long enough. Now I call you into a new season, but you cannot carry old baggage through a fresh door. I cannot allow you to enter the promised land with chains still wrapped around your feet. You must let me remove them, thread by thread, layer by layer, until you are truly light, truly free, truly ready to receive the greater things I prepared for you before you were born. Perhaps you fear what you must face. Perhaps you wonder what will come after you let go. But hear my unfailing promise. If you are brave enough to confront it, if you place it in my hands, what I return to you will far exceed what you tried to hold on to. I will grant you peace instead of turmoil, understanding instead of confusion, clarity instead of obscurity, and a joy no one and nothing can take away. A deep, abiding joy not dependent on circumstances. Come back, my child, not back to pain, but back to me, the one who has seen it all, yet stays beside you, the one who knows your needs more than you do. Trust that whatever you hold on to, no matter how secure it appears, keeps you from walking through a door I already opened. When you lay it down, when you lift your eyes, you will see that I am still here, arms outstretched, heart unchanging, and a destiny that will never be rescinded. Now let go, face it, step in, because a new season has arrived, and you are the one I chose to enter it with the full freedom, wholeness, and beauty of a redeemed soul. I have waited for you, always, and I will not cease calling your name until your heart responds. I, who love you with an everlasting love, will never tire of restoring you to the image in which you were shaped at creation's dawn. What I ask you to confront is not some small detail in your life's journey, not a passing worry, nor a burden time alone can heal. This is profound, something that has settled deep within your soul, affecting how you think, how you love, how you trust, how you live. It is no longer just an emotional issue. It is something quietly fracturing your integrity, keeping you from stepping into the fullness and splendor I have destined for you. Perhaps it originates from a relationship that strayed from my truth, a connection that broke, but which you still cling to out of fear of emptiness. Or perhaps it is a crucial decision you keep postponing because you dread that choosing wrong will cause everything to fall apart. It may even be a dream I planted in your heart long ago, yet you have never dared to fully reach for it. Because each time you draw near, memories of past failure sting you and pull you back. Or maybe it is something simpler, a fear of being hurt, fear of being unloved, fear that if you truly let go and trust, the worst will happen. I know, because I have been with you in each of those moments. I have seen you step away from my invitations simply because you could not silence fear's voice within you. I have seen you attempt to appear composed while inside your soul was quietly burning for lack of rescue. I have not come to shame you. I do not point this out to accuse you of weakness or of delay. I come to reveal my mercy, to lead you out of what you believed you had to endure forever. Because, my beloved, the time has come. Not tomorrow, not when everything seems favorable, not when you feel ready by your own standards, but now. Right now, when you hear my voice, when you feel that stirring deep inside, when tears fall because you know I am touching the place that most needs healing. I do not expect you to untangle everything by yourself. I do not demand that you understand every next step. I simply invite you to surrender, to place it in my hands, to lay down the burden you have carried far too long, whether it is a silent ache or a crushing weight, whether it is bitterness or self-condemnation, whether it is a broken dream or a forgotten promise. I stand ready to take it from you and exchange it for freedom, healing, and restoration. You do not need to grasp everything to trust me. You only need to believe my love never fails. Let me be the anchor of your trust, for I have never lost a soul truly surrendered to me. What you yield in tears, I will nurture with all of heaven. What you relinquish in trembling, I will replace with that which cannot be shaken. What you believe is loss, I will turn into victory. You need only believe. Dare to loosen your grip. Dare to open your mouth and whisper, Lord, I surrender this to you. Do you realize the healing you've been waiting for isn't hidden somewhere in a distant tomorrow? It is wrapped within the choice you make right now. When you let go, not from despair, but in trust. When you end something, not from exhaustion, but from obedience. When you say enough, not out of weakness, but from the deep knowing that I have something better for you. That is when every miracle begins. That is when fresh waters from heaven flood your dry, thirsty soul. That is when the door I've held open can swing wide, no longer blocked by burdens you no longer bear. My beloved child, I haven't come to take away. I have come to give, not half-hearted consolation, but deep healing. Not distant promises, but living reality. Not a fleeting existence, but a destiny intricately designed for you before your mother bore you. But that destiny demands a heart set free, a soul no longer under the sway of unhealed wounds or lingering fears. And I know you are brave enough for this. You have come farther than you realize, endured more steadfastly than you think. And now, you are one step away, the step of complete trust. Step out of the old and step toward me. Do not look back. Do not heed doubt's whispers any longer. Fix your gaze on me and you will see that I have never left you. I remain here, arms outstretched, still waiting, still beckoning you closer. Now is the time for you to live lightly. Now is the time for healing. Now is the time to move into a new chapter. Free from burdens, free from fear, filled only with my peace and unfailing love. And you will not merely survive, you will truly live. You know what I speak of. It is not foreign or vague. It is the very thing your heart has silently wrestled with, the thing I whispered into your mind in stillness on many nights. I have not come to harm you, but to rescue you from the silent whirlpool that has drawn at your soul day by day. Therefore, I say this again, with urgency and abiding love. It is time to face this. It is time to cease evading and begin the journey of liberation with one courageous step. You may have prayed for healing, begged for change, pleaded for restoration. But my child, I cannot renew what you still hold in clenched fists. I cannot bestow peace while you clutch fear as though it belongs to you. I am the one who makes all things new. I have power to restore what appears decayed beyond hope. I can breathe life into what you thought was dead. But I will not cross a threshold you refuse to open. Restoration does not begin when you see perfectly. It begins when you walk into the fog, believing I hold your hand. This is not a voice of reprimand, but a bell of awakening from my heart. Do not wait until circumstances force your hand. Do not wait until what you cling to shatters completely before you surrender. Do not let doubt's murkiness steal the light I shine. Delay is the silent enemy of transformation. Hesitation does not come from the spirit. It comes from the realm that wishes you to remain frozen, neither fully alive nor utterly dead. I call you to step forward not aimlessly, but into the loving plan I have crafted just for you. I know you tremble. I see your heart quake at the thought of letting go of something familiar, even if it wounds you. But my dear one, nothing you hold is worth more than the freedom I bring. Nothing you lose by walking with me will ever surpass what I will give you in return. It will be greater, deeper, infinitely more healing. Trust me, my beloved. Trust not only my promises, but the timing I appoint for you. I know the perfect moment far better than anyone. When I declare the time has come, it is no mere suggestion. It is a divine invitation, a heavenly window opening for a crucial spiritual act. When I speak, heaven itself moves with you. Every spiritual resource, every angelic intervention will be poised to help as you step forward in obedience. You were not made to live a half-hearted life. You were not designed to trudge wearily down uncertain paths. You were created to reveal my glory, to become a living testimony of transforming love. Yet you cannot fully embody this calling while remnants of the old remain in your heart. You cannot overflow if your vessel is clogged with old debris. You cannot soar if your wings are weighted by burdens not from me. I see you struggling beneath invisible currents of worry and insecurity. I see every moment you wrestle with doubt's whispers, with past failures etched into memory, with future doors that seem locked. You have tried, you have fought, yet something unseen still pulls you back, keeping you from moving forward. My beloved, it is not because you are lacking in strength. It is because false voices surround you, voices that do not come from me. Your enemy, who prowls from the beginning, has scattered fear like a toxic mist, aiming to cloud your vision and make you forget a vital truth. You are my chosen one, my covered one, the one to whom I have given a spirit not of fear, but of power, love, and sound judgment. You were not made to be bound by fear. You were made to conquer, to stand firm, to overcome, to walk boldly in the glorious light I have set before you. I did not gift you with a spirit that shrinks back at danger or retreats in trials. Rather, I placed in you the spirit of a holy warrior, a soul tested in the heat of adversity to emerge resilient, strong, a heart that loves despite wounds, a mind that stays clear amid chaos. Do you grasp this? The trembling you feel today is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign that victory is near. For when fear rises, it proves something. The enemy trembles at what I am about to do through you. Fear is not just an emotion. It is a tactic, a cunning ploy to turn you from your destiny. It tells you, you are not enough, you will surely fail, I will not come in time. But listen to me. Fear is a lie, and truth always triumphs over lies. I am the one who is never late. I am the one who never breaks a promise. If I planted a dream in your heart, I have already prepared every resource you need to fulfill it. Do not let fear imprison you along your path. Do not let it steal this moment, the moment you could take one small but powerful step toward your destiny, the one I wrote your name into before the world's foundation. Remember, breaking fear's chains does not require you to feel brave enough. It merely requires you to choose to believe. Believe that I am greater than every storm. Believe that my love suffices to heal every wound. Believe that my power is no ancient story, but a living force ready to move in your life now, in these very circumstances. If you truly understood who you are in me, you would never bow to fear again. If you realized you carry heaven's own lineage, darkness has no power to overcome your light. You would know you are not small, you are not helpless, you are not alone. You are not merely someone struggling through life. You are one who has been sent, equipped, and taught daily by my mighty spirit, who leads you step by step into the fullness of your divine calling. And my child, remember, each time you choose to trust me rather than your fear, a spiritual battle is won. Each time you declare life rather than death, eternal light floods into places that once seemed beyond redemption. Each small act of faith reverberates in the spiritual realms and shakes the very heavens. Do not underestimate those small steps, for when you walk by faith, even trembling, you stir all of hell. Therefore, if you stand at the threshold of something new, a calling, an unfamiliar journey, a door that feels vast and daunting, this is your moment to lift your head and step forward, not in your strength, but by faith placed in me. Entrusting your heart fully to me unlocks the gateway to victory. It is not merely an action, but a heavenly exchange. You release fear, and I impart peace. You discard anxious calculations, and I hand you divine strategies. You banish doubt, and I grant you unshakable resolve from heaven. Let today be the day you say, "Enough to fear." Let today be the day you rise and proclaim you are no longer bound by anything that does not spring from me. You were not born to shrink back. You were born to shine, to walk confidently, to reflect the image of your Creator. Within you pulses life, glory, and resurrection power with every heartbeat. You may tremble, but remember, I do not require perfection, only willingness. I do not demand you be fearless, only that you resolve not to surrender to fear. When you make that choice, all of heaven stands with you. For when one dares to trust me more than their fear, a destiny begins to unfold. And my beloved, that destiny awaits you. My dear child, what I desire from you is not perfection by worldly standards, but a heart that acknowledges me in every step. Be it gentle steps across peaceable meadows or hesitant strides along rugged mountains. When you fix your gaze on me, letting go of reliance on your own limited understanding and seeking my guidance at each turn, you will discover a wonder known only to surrendered souls. The tender yet powerful leading of my hand, straightening the crooked roads of your life, opening avenues you never dared to imagine. I do not promise life will always be smooth, but I promise your heart will remain steadfast amid the fiercest storms if you allow me to walk beside you. There are paths that glisten with enticing lights of opportunity, yet lead only to dead ends. And there are narrow, scarcely traveled ways that lead to abundant life and sacred purpose. This is why I call you to listen for my voice, to let me direct you not merely toward a reasonable route, but toward the one tailor-made for your soul, a journey woven with love and heaven's intention. Know this, when you walk with me, you are not only on the correct path, but you are protected from dangers your eyes do not yet see. I shield you from unseen traps, from misguided relationships, from choices that seem wise but bring barren outcomes. More than that, I safeguard your mind. When your thoughts are besieged by anxiety, echoes of the past, or fearful assumptions about tomorrow, I move within you like a cool breeze in the heat of summer. I speak with gentle authority. My peace I give to you, and that peace does not derive from your surroundings, but from my presence dwelling within you. Perhaps no one ever taught you how to listen to me. Perhaps you grew accustomed to living by instinct, by reason, or even by passing emotions. But I desire for you to learn a profound spiritual skill, the practice of pausing and asking me, Lord, which way shall I go? What is your will? I do not call you to perfection before I accept you. I love you so deeply that I want you to avoid the cost of decisions made from a narrow human viewpoint. I yearn to lead you to a place where my presence is not a concept, but a living, breathing reality experienced each day. In that place, you will find that even when the world trembles and the future remains unknown, your heart will be enveloped in a peace that surpasses all understanding, and you will not remain at peace alone. As you journey with me, you will be strengthened by a power the world cannot provide, a power that flows directly from my spirit. This is not the strength to force yourself to be brave or to pretend to be strong. It is the strength to stand when all around you crumbles, to forgive when you are wounded, to love when you are rejected, to maintain hope when all is silent, to rise when you stumble, and to press on when others give up. This strength does not spring from your striving, but from surrender, your willingness to trust me and let me work what only I can accomplish. Imagine your life as a small vessel on a vast ocean. When you try to navigate by your own understanding, the waves will toss you. But when you hand the wheel to me, I do not promise a stormless journey, but I do promise you will never sink. And it is in those very waves that threaten to overwhelm you that you will discover the wonder of my steadfast hand, my compassionate heart, and my plans carefully crafted for your eternal good. Therefore, my beloved one, do not seek me only in solemn moments or formal rituals. Recognize me in ordinary tasks, when you prepare a meal, when you commute to work, when you sit quietly with unanswered questions. I am there, waiting for you to open your heart. A single whisper, "Lord, please guide me," is enough to move my hand. It can transform a burdened day into one filled with meaning. It can part anxiety's waves and reveal a horizon of hope. And dearest child, when your steps begin to quiver at the threshold of the unknown, when your mind is obscured by doubt's fog, that is precisely the moment to pause and return to what is unchanging. My eternal promises spoken over your life. You may not always sense my presence, but that does not mean I am absent. You may not see the future clearly, but that does not mean your future is not firmly held in my hand. Every word I have ever spoken, every promise I have proclaimed, stands as a firm foundation for your soul amid life's relentless upheavals. Engrave this truth upon your heart. Fear has no rightful place where my promises are remembered and trusted. Fear may roar like a raging wind, but if your heart is anchored to what I have declared, you will not be moved. I have declared I am your keeper, that I will never leave you, that I will guide you through darkness into fields of light. These are not beautiful words only. They are living truth, divine power that can revive the weary soul and steady a trembling heart with a renewed, unbreakable rhythm. My beloved child, whenever your heart feels unsteady, close your eyes and let it become like a still, peaceful lake. In that moment, whisper to your own soul, "He has promised." Let those words resonate within you like a sweet melody, dissolving every worry. I have promised to be your strong refuge when storms arise. I have promised to feed your soul and to provide for every need before you even speak it. To be the Father who never sleeps, watching over you in dreams and waking. Everything you need rests not on your own striving, but on trust in me, the one who never fails. And when you feel as though you are sinking into doubt's darkness, when fear hollers as if it has the right to prevail, that is precisely when you must remember my faithfulness in the past. Let recollections of my tender mercies ignite a flame in your heart. You once stood at despair's edge, and I carried you through. You once found yourself trapped with no escape, and I opened a door. You once wept alone, and I wiped away your tears with my invisible hand of love. So, my child, why doubt that I will do it again? Your enemy longs for you to forget. He wants to blur your memories of my goodness, to plunge you into panic, to convince you that I have abandoned you. But the truth is this: I have never left. I have never been silent. I wait for you to remember, to reopen Scripture's worn pages, to let my words breathe once more within your heart like new life. Every promise I have made remains alive. They have not dimmed with time. They have not grown weary with the passing years. They are vibrant, powerful, simply awaiting a heart of trust to cause them to blossom into miracles. Learn to speak to your soul when fear approaches. I know the one in whom I have believed. He is faithful. He does not change. When you do this, you not only remind yourself, but also repel the darkness. Fear cannot linger where the light of my word shines. My promises are not ornaments meant to be displayed. They are weapons in spiritual warfare. They are not written to be read passively, but to be declared, lived out, to give you the confidence of one shielded by heaven. If today your heart feels weary, if you feel you have no strength left, do not push yourself harder. Instead, pause and embrace just one promise. One is enough. Close your eyes and whisper, "Lord, you have promised to be with me." Then wait in that stillness. You will hear my voice, not always loud, but always clear. Not always emotional, but always certain. And you will find a stream of living water flowing back into your parched soul, breathing new life into what seemed dead. It all begins with one act: believing in my word. You do not need to understand every detail. You only need to remember that I am faithful. When you shift your attention from the circumstances to what I have spoken, it is that very moment you will stand again, not by your own might, but by the grace rekindled through remembering my promises. Therefore, my beloved child, do not let a single day pass without nurturing your soul with my word. Do not allow my promises to rest silently on a page. Let them live in your heart's beat, in your mind's quiet moments, and in every choice you make. When you do, you are not only walking under my protection, you are stepping into a life not ruled by fear but led by faith and the unchanging love of your Heavenly Father, the one who chose you before the world's foundation. When you find yourself standing at life's crossroads, when you see dazzling paths ahead with countless unknowns, and behind you lie tangled memories yet to be healed, that is precisely when I lean close and whisper to your soul, "Come back and seek me in prayer." I do not call you to navigate darkness alone. I invite you to come to me with empty hands and a sincere heart, to say, "Lord, show me the way. Give me wisdom beyond my own understanding." Wisdom is not something you earn or barter for. I give it generously to those who ask, without reproach, without hesitation. All you need is a humble heart that acknowledges its need and says, "I do not know the answer. I need you." At that moment, streams of heavenly light will begin illuminating your mind, dispelling confusion and unveiling doors you never knew existed. Fear often springs not because circumstances are overwhelming, but because the heart is empty of direction, empty of trust. When you do not know what to do next, when every plan crumbles before you, the enemy quickly whispers lies. You are lost. You are not wise enough. You will fail. But my child, that is not my voice. My voice carries gentle authority. In every word I speak, there is an invitation. Ask for wisdom. You do not need to see the whole road to begin walking. You only need enough light for the next step. And that light is my wisdom, clarity beyond human reasoning. When you pray, you open yourself to receive a divine flow of insight, capable of perceiving what your human eyes cannot. I will not leave you fumbling in uncertainty. I will take your hand and guide you through every decision, every season, every crucial choice of your life. You might think only the strong, the capable, the intelligent receive clear direction. But wisdom comes not to those who consider themselves sufficient, but to those who acknowledge their lack and come to me with a broken, contrite heart. When you ask for wisdom, you demonstrate deep faith. You believe not only that I am omnipotent, but that I also desire to guide you tenderly and precisely. I see the nights you lie awake, not from bodily pain, but weighed down by not knowing what to do next. I hear your silent cries, "What should I do, Lord?" I want you to know, no prayer birthed in your tears goes unnoticed. No moment of confusion is too small for my concern. I treasure each sigh, each whispered plea, as precious pearls. In my appointed time, I will answer, not always in the way you expect, but always in the way that brings life, liberation, peace. Learn to practice patience in prayer. Wisdom does not always strike like lightning. Often it arrives like dawn, gradual, gentle, unstoppable. When you set aside busyness and noise to seek me, it is in that silence that I sow clarity within your heart that surpasses human logic. It is the kind of wisdom that leads you to decisions free from fleeting emotions, a wisdom that helps you discern truth from temptation, a wisdom that steadies your soul even as the world trembles, because you will know you walk the right path. Day by day, as you ask and receive, This wisdom becomes your sacred compass, guiding you through life's densest forests. You will no longer walk in fear, but with steadfast certainty, for you know the one directing your path never errs. Therefore, my beloved child, do not hesitate to say, "Lord, teach me. Open my eyes, grant me heavenly wisdom, for I will not ignore you. I will answer you freely, promptly. Then you will see, in your weakness I raise you up. In confusion I open a new way. In your humble prayers, I begin writing a fresh chapter of miracles in your life. And now, my beloved child, I summon you to rise. Do not let your soul slumber any longer in hesitation. Do not allow indecision's lines to imprison you, keeping you from the promised land I have prepared. I have set blessings in place, doors slightly ajar, waiting for you to step forward and claim them. But to reach them, you must move yourself. You must dare to leave the ground you think you control and venture into the territory where only faith can sustain you. I know there are days when it seems too much to bear. You look ahead and see vast walls, towering mountains, and hear whispers telling you, you aren't ready, you aren't enough, you will fail. But my child, those are not my words. They are echoes of your past trying to hold you captive, fear lurking near, doubt seeking your heart. I want you to understand, faith does not demand perfect clarity. It only asks you to believe enough to take the next step, trusting that I am already there before you, waiting with open arms, ready to help. Awaken a faith within you, not battered by trials, but refined by them. A faith that has stumbled yet arisen again, that has wrestled with doubt but chosen to believe. A faith stronger than emotion, deeper than reason, and fierce enough to drive away all confusion. Let this faith be a flame within your soul, lighting your path in darkness, warming you when despair's chill creeps in, illuminating every purpose I have planned for you. When you open the door and step out, do not step timidly, but walk forward as a rightful heir entering their inheritance. Steadfast, confident, filled with hope. Imagine yourself crowned with glory. I placed that crown upon your head before the world began. You do not fight to earn my love. You fight from a place of already being loved, chosen, empowered by heavenly authority. All I have prepared for you is not behind an impenetrable wall, but within reach of a heart bold enough to believe, to step forward, to receive. Do not let your mind hunt for reasons to delay. Do not search for excuses to justify standing still. In truth, there is no reason worthy enough for you to reject the future I have already given. You need not be perfect, just courageous enough to begin. You need not have absolute certainty, just a small faith willing to say, Lord, I will step forward though my heart still trembles. You do not need to know everything. You only need to know I am faithful, and I never mislead. I see the silent struggle within your mind, the tension between your longing to move forward and fear of failing. But my beloved, in my kingdom, failure does not define you. The only thing that defines you is my love and the unshakable plan I placed upon your life. Do not let a past stumble convince you you cannot rise again. Do not let a single harsh word from another make you doubt your worth. Those things do not reflect truth. Only I define you, and I call you my beloved, my chosen, one set to shine in a dark world. Therefore, be strong, be courageous. Let your heart awaken to a profound awareness that some doors will remain closed until you place your hand on the handle and turn it by faith. Let every step declare, I believe goodness lies ahead. As you walk forward, you will witness barriers once unmovable crumble before faith's power. Twists and turns that once obscured your vision will unfold into a wide-open path. Situations that once seemed hopeless will overflow with my surprising grace. I am not giving you just a new beginning, but a new soul, a renewed mind, a vision that surpasses every boundary you knew. You are not only stepping into a new season, you are entering a divine frequency where everything allied with me will produce fruit, growth, brilliance. The moment you step from comfort into obedience, all of heaven moves to support you. I will soften what seemed sealed. I will cause arms once closed in resistance to open in help, and I will astonish even you as the new creation within you wakes and rises. So do not hesitate any longer, my beloved. Do not let fear's whispers drown out heaven's call. Do not let your eyes stop at visible limits. Instead, lift your gaze higher to where I stand with open arms, inviting you on this wondrous journey. Ignite faith's flame within you. Stand, step out, embrace all the goodness I have prepared, not only for today, but for your eternal future. My precious child, prepare your mind, spirit, and heart, for this is a pivotal moment, a sacred hour, when the door to the harvest season has swung wide open before you. This is not merely symbolic. It is a resounding call from heaven meant especially for you, the one who remained faithful through countless seasons of waiting, the one who never turned away when silence reigned, the one who held faith even when darkness seemed imminent. The harvest you prayed for, the harvest you sowed with tears and whispered prayers each night, with quiet decisions to reject temptation and guard your heart's purity. It is now arriving. Walk forward, my child, not with the weariness of one barely surviving, but with the radiance of a harvester entering golden fields. Let your soul breathe in the sweet fragrance of this new season, not the scent of earthly fruit, but the affirmation of promises I whispered in stillness. That fragrance signals that your faithfulness has not been forgotten, that seeds you planted through drought now push forth, that tears shed in secret have been watering a vast field of blessings ready to bloom. Do you hear the earth beneath your feet? It is not hollow barrenness. It is soil cultivated and awaiting your touch, offering abundant yield to the hands of the one called to gather it. You are not a stranger stepping into a season that does not belong to you. You are the rightful heir to this sacred harvest. You have been chosen to gather this fruit. You are destined to reap what I have sown in your life. Doubt no longer. Do not believe goodness is for others alone. Stand firm in the certainty that you are integral to my grand design, an irreplaceable link in my benevolent will. And so that you do not stumble under blessings about to be lavished upon you, I will be the one who strengthens your hands. I will grant you a might that does not originate from the flesh, but from the eternal source. You will find yourself stronger than before, not because you grow less weary, but because I share your burden. You will be lifted above invisible assaults that once knocked you off balance. I will set you on a firm rock, and from that vantage, you will see the entire field I've ordained for you to cultivate, oversee, and harvest. Lack will no longer define you. The days of counting every small thing, every last drop of oil, every final crumb of bread, will not shape your reality. I will banish scarcity by opening new streams of creativity, of heaven-sent ideas, of opportunities you could not manufacture by your own strength, but that flow from my boundless goodness. You will no longer exist from one small miracle to the next. You will live as one who receives wave after wave of overflowing blessing, enough to live, enough to share, enough to showcase my unfailing faithfulness to others. But to receive all of this, your heart must be ready. Do not stand idle, waiting for a trumpet to blow. A harvest does not begin with loud fanfare, but with obedience's quiet birth. I call you to be courageous not only in battles, but in seasons of receiving. Paradoxically, many display boldness in suffering, yet shrink in prosperity. You are not meant to be among them. You will not fear blessing. You will not turn away from what I have set aside for you out of unworthiness. Receive it, embrace it, possess it by faith, with gratitude, and with a readiness to pour it out again in love. Keep standing firm as you learn to adapt to this new season. Be diligent in small matters, for faithful stewardship in the early steps will lead to greater responsibilities. Do not assume blessing is a resting place. Blessing is the threshold of a wider influence, a sacred role you must prepare your heart to carry with love and discernment. That is why I trained you through many seasons, why I allowed you to walk through dim corridors, not as punishment, but to refine you, not to take away, but to ready you for something far grander than you dared to dream. Now, my beloved child, in the brilliance ahead, I earnestly invite you to listen to my voice with a heart fully awake. For there is one truth you must carve deeply into your soul, a warning born of my profound love. Do not let your heart be ensnared by those who reject my divine call. Do not tread the path of those who have turned away from the light, who chose ease, fleeting pleasures, and emptiness over the source of life, the way, and the truth. I do not say these words to sow fear in your heart, but to warn you. In every season of harvest, an invisible battle rages between light and darkness, faithfulness and distraction, the called and the absorbed by worldly noise. There have been souls once invited as you are now, but they allowed meaningless busyness, earthly ambition, and misguided voices to drown out my call. They became entangled in pursuits without fruit, and when drought came, they blamed me rather than examining their own hearts. They failed to see that their hardened hearts blocked my blessings from flowing into their lives like a river dammed by unbelief. Tragically, they didn't just forego their own destiny. Bitterness within them sought to sow doubt among those who still walked in the light. They became unseen shadows lingering around the faithful, not to accompany, but to lead astray. They did not celebrate others' rewards. Their hearts held envy and unresolved ache. Be vigilant, my child. Do not let words cloaked in false wisdom lure you away from faith's land. Do not let relationships not bound by truth and divine love infiltrate the field in which I am sowing your harvest. My beloved, guard your field not only with diligent hands, but with a discerning heart. Do not allow anyone onto the land of your blessing unless I have sent them. Some may come wearing smiles, yet carry barrenness within. Some may speak sweetly, but their spirits are wastelands. They come not to cultivate your harvest, but to distract, to sow doubt, to slow your pace. Learn to discern such spirits by the light of the Holy Spirit. Ask me, and I will reveal who is to be kept at a distance and who I have sent to strengthen you. Realize, not everyone rejoices when they see your blossoming. Not everyone carries the heart of a harvester. Some who wasted their own seasons chase empty pleasures, and when their hearts grew hollow, they sought someone to pull down with them. But I say to you, do not let your kindness become a doorway for darkness. Maintain your holy boundaries. Guard your soul as a watchman guards a precious treasure. For within you rests a portion of my eternal design that cannot be stolen. And do not fall into blind compassion. Love, yes, but do not let love become an open gate for compromise. Intercede, yes, but do not forsake obedience out of misplaced mercy. I call you to walk with tenderness, yet with a discerning spirit. Be a bearer of light, but also one who knows when to say no. Sometimes the greatest courage is found not in embracing everyone, but in rejecting those not sent by me. You belong to me. You are appointed for a harvest unlike any other. You are chosen to bear eternal fruit and impact generations yet to come. Therefore, do not live as those who do not know to whom they belong. Keep your faithfulness, your discipline, your humility. Do not let lost souls dim the light I lit within you with my own blood. Do not let a lack of vigilance cause you to lose the field you have nurtured through many seasons. And now, my beloved child, come still closer, with a heart laid bare, unashamed, unafraid. Bring me every hidden desire stirring in your heart, even those you once thought too grand to ask or too small to matter. To me, nothing in your heart is trivial. Every dream you hold, every unspoken longing, I treasure as precious jewels hidden in your Father's heart. Do not fear drawing near to me. Do not let past mistakes or unhealed wounds convince you that you must first prove your worth before you can ask. Do you not know, if I withheld not my own beloved Son without blemish, perfect light, willingly for you, what good thing would I ever withhold? What blessing would I ever deny? Along with him, my love for you is not measured by your achievements. My grace is not limited by deserving. It is all because I love you unconditionally, unchangingly, unbreakably. Today, yes, today is a sacred moment, a milestone etched into the timeline of your life. This is not just an ordinary day. This is the day I move my hand in a powerful, unmistakable way. This is the day miracles shift from promise to manifestation. This is the day what seemed indefinitely postponed begins to stir. This is the day your mouth opens, not in complaint, but in proclamation of victory, not by your own strength, but by my mighty power, the one who has never been defeated. You have carried burdens heavy on your soul. There were nights when you could not sleep, not from bodily pain, but because your heart was ravaged by worry and fear. There were illnesses that confined not only your body, but also your dreams, leaving you exhausted in both body and spirit. But today, I say to you, no more. No more bondage, no more burdens. No illness shall dominate you any longer. My name, the name above every name, will command every wayward cell to return to divine order. Every disorder in your body will bow and flee. New life will surge into you, and peace will be restored. You will no longer merely survive. You will live fully, vibrantly, gloriously, just as I intended from the start. Your body will be healed, and your soul will be set free. Those spirits that came to agitate you, to sow confusion, to dim your inner light, they will find no foothold. I have heard your silent cries, those moments you could not understand why conflict swirled around you, why criticism emerged from every side, why hurt came from those you trusted. But today, I act on your behalf. My name is a mighty strong tower. Whoever runs to me will find refuge. From this day forward, the enemy must retreat. My presence will encircle you like a wall of fire none can breach, and spirits not sent by me will flee. Moreover, I will reach into areas you once deemed unchangeable, your family, the relationships you invested your heart in but only found pain, the fracturing you believed too deep to mend. All these are within my reach for restoration. You prayed, you waited. At times you felt like giving up. But today I tell you, from this very moment, the shift begins. I will soften hardened hearts. I will restore compassion lost. I will grant you new eyes to see goodness and new ears to hear the voice of love amidst the turmoil. Not one prayer you offered for your family has gone unnoticed. Every whispered plea, every tear-stained groan has been recorded in my heart as a testament of your faith. And regarding your finances, where you have wrestled, counted coins, planned each cautious step, I will fling open the storehouses of heaven in ways you have not yet imagined. But remember, wealth is not the highest reward. Wealth is a tool. As you continue in obedience, I will grant you not only resources, but the wisdom to steward them rightly. I will give you not mere abundance, but purposeful prosperity. I will guide you out of lack into a life of generosity, a life chosen to be an instrument of my love and light in a world still shrouded in darkness. Inscribe this truth deeply on your heart. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter of healing, a chapter of miracles, a chapter of open doors, a chapter of clear answers and undeniable victory. Yet it does not begin when your circumstances change. It begins the moment you dare to believe I am already at work now, in this very moment, within the heart reading these words. My beloved child, come nearer, nearer than ever, to the place where my presence is not a gentle breeze brushing your skin, but a mighty waterfall cascading through your entire being, cleansing and reviving you without end. It is within this sacred space where you breathe the atmosphere of holiness and love that you will find what your heart has yearned for. True restoration, not temporary, not fleeting, not mere momentary comfort that vanishes, but a profound, lasting renewal, layer upon layer, gradually unfolding in your soul, body, and mind. When you permit me to dwell fully within you, when you offer me not a few hurried minutes squeezed into a busy schedule, but your undivided attention, you will begin to sense something miraculous. The very atmosphere around you will change. not because the world outside has suddenly become perfect, but because within you, a deep purification takes place. A transformation stirs from the inside out. Thoughts once heavy and weary will become as light as autumn leaves. Moods once cloaked in gloom will dissolve under the radiant sunrise of my presence. Even your body, once burdened by life's trials, will begin to regain vitality, like parched earth, drinking in the refreshing rains of a new season. This renewal will not be confined to quiet prayer or still worship. No, my child, the life I breathe into you will ripple through every aspect of your existence. It will infuse your work, turning weariness into creativity. It will touch your relationships, turning misunderstandings into empathy, soothing conflicts, rekindling love. It will reshape your entire perspective, empowering you to face the unknown without fear, standing firm with the steady gaze of one anchored in unchanging love. When you choose to remain in me, not merely passing through, but abiding, you will be filled with a fresh flow. My words will plant seeds in your heart like good soil. They will not return empty, but will sprout and yield fruit in due season. You will notice a difference. Anxiety will no longer clutch your mind each morning. Fear will no longer weigh on your shoulders each night. Instead, you will be enveloped in an enduring peace that does not come from this world, and a joy not dependent on circumstances. You will learn to walk through storms without trembling, to endure loss without breaking, because within you will dwell a strength that surpasses all human understanding. My love is not merely an appealing concept. It is a living reality, a sure refuge, an inexhaustible source of strength. My truth, unchanging, untainted by cultural tides or man's opinions, is the firm foundation upon which you can rebuild your life. Let that love, let that truth become the roots and lifeblood of your spirit, for when you stand firmly on that foundation, nothing can shake you. When storms rage, you will not be swept away. When darkness encroaches, the light within you will continue to burn. Take a moment to see yourself not through self-doubt's eyes, but through my loving gaze. You are being transformed each day. These are not meaningless steps, but progress deeper into my presence, where you will increasingly reflect my glory and goodness. Every action you take, even the smallest, will carry a different frequency, a frequency from heaven with the power to stir even the seemingly immovable things of this world. Then you will no longer live for yourself alone. You will become a living testimony for those seeking true life. People will see your light, not because you strive to shine, but because you have chosen to dwell close to me. You will not need to shout to show you belong to me. Rather, the deep peace and vibrant strength within you will speak on your behalf. Your gentleness, your patience, your endurance through hardship will be living evidence of the one who walks with you. Therefore, my beloved, do not miss each day's opportunity to step into my presence. Do not seek me only when you are weary, but strive to abide, journey, and live with me in every moment. For my presence is not merely part of your life, it is the very wellspring of life itself. Now bring me your heartfelt prayer. You might say, Lord, today I pause amidst the world's noise to seek your voice. Please help me cast aside every distraction and open my heart like fertile soil, ready for your seed of truth. I no longer want to miss this sacred moment. Awaken my spirit so I may recognize your trumpet call and no longer postpone walking into what you've prepared for my life. Lord, I remember the gentle whispers, the subtle warnings I once ignored. Now I know you are speaking not with a breeze, but with decisive authority. Forgive my delays and the times my heart was not deep enough to grasp the urgency of your call. Today, I choose to respond. I choose to face what you reveal. Lead me on the path of truth and restoration. Lord, I refuse to move forward carrying the baggage of hesitation and disobedience. I do not wish to bring the old into the new door you are opening. Reveal to me what hinders your grace in my life. I surrender to you the things I fear to confront, the wounds that have festered within me. Enter the deepest places of my heart and uproot anything bearing no fruit. I understand you call me back, not to condemn, but to rescue me from wandering. Help me to no longer fear truth, for I believe the truth in you sets me free. Grant me sensitivity to discern your voice from fear in disguise. Lord, I hear your voice resounding in my soul. The time has come. Help me to stop running, to have the courage to release any relationship, habit, or wound that binds me. I do not want to delay the miracle of restoration by clinging to the old. I long to step into the life you destined for me, a life of freedom and fullness. Lord, in a world trembling and shaking, keep me from being swept away by fear. When I hear frightening news, remind me you still reign, never leaving your throne. Fill my mind with understanding, so I will not quake before upheaval, but stand firm on your eternal promises. My beloved, as you carry these words in your heart, remember that I will never leave you nor forsake you. Whenever doubt tries to cloud your vision, return to this place of truth, where my voice calls you to stand firm, to release every burden, and to step boldly into the blessings I have prepared. Keep this channel as your refuge. Here you will find fresh reminders of my promises, guidance for every uncertain moment, and encouragement to walk in unwavering faith. Whenever you feel the stirrings of fear or the weight of yesterday's wounds, come back and press play. Let my love speak again into your soul. Each video is a sacred invitation designed to realign your heart with the eternal, to ignite the flame of hope within you, and to equip you to thrive in every season. Do not let a single day go by without settling your spirit in my presence. Subscribe now and click the bell so you never miss the next unveiling of heaven's truth. Tell your friends and family about this place, for there are hearts out there waiting to hear the life-giving call. Share this message. Comment below how you are choosing freedom today, and join our community of believers who stand as one under my banner. In the days ahead, return here often. Let this channel be your fortress of peace, your fountain of wisdom, and your reminder that with me you are more than conquerors. Until we meet again, walk in my light, rest in my love, and know that greater things still await. Amen.